You've been out here, running after someone, throwing all your energy their way like they're royalty, hoping for just a sliver of attention in return. But the truth is, the more you chase, the more they pull away. Why? Because they see you like a puppet, always there, waiting on their next move, strings pulled tight. And as long as you keep playing along, they'll keep treating you like you're disposable, like yesterday's trash. You think they'll wake up one day and finally see your worth. News flash, they won't, not while you're acting like a backup plan, always waiting on standby. Who gave them this power over you? Who made them the boss of your happiness? Because, from where I'm standing, it's you. You gave them the control, you handed over the keys to your peace of mind, and let them call the shots. And while you wait around, hoping they'll come to their senses, they're out there, living their life without giving you a second thought. That's how little they respect your time, your energy, your effort. You've been busting your ass, hoping they'll throw you some attention, but all they've been doing is showing you that they don't care. And why would they? You've made it clear you'll stick around, no matter how they treat you. But today that stops. Today, you step back, cut the strings, and drop the role of the puppet. No more running after them, no more waiting for their texts, their calls, or their validation. You go quiet, disappear into the background, and let them feel what it's like without you around. You reclaim every ounce of energy you wasted on them, and you pour it right back into yourself. Here's the truth, people don't value what they don't have to work for. As long as you're chasing, they're running, enjoying the thrill of knowing you'll always be there, no matter what. But the moment you stop, the moment you go silent, that's when things shift. Suddenly, the messages stop, the comfort of always having you on deck disappears, and that's when it hits them hard. They'll scroll through their phone, wondering where you went, why you haven't reached out. They'll stalk your social media, hoping for some sign that you're still thinking about them. But you're done. You're not here to play the waiting game, hoping for scraps from someone who treated you like an option. You're here to take back control. When you step back and stay silent, you flip the script. Now they're the ones left hanging, wondering if they lost you for good. And that's when they'll start running back, trying to figure out where. Terms. So, accept this challenge, drop a comment below with the phrase, "I am done waiting," not just waiting on them, but on anyone to treat you right. You're no one's backup plan, no one's puppet, and no one's emotional safety net. You've wasted enough time, and now it's time to cut off that easy access they took for granted. When they realize you're not just sitting around waiting anymore, when they feel that void you left behind, it'll hit them like a punch to the gut. And guess what? Whether they come back or not doesn't even matter, because now you know your worth, and it sure as hell isn't tied to their attention. You're not some side piece they can put down and pick up when it's convenient. You're the one they lost, and by the time they realize it, you'll be long gone. Today is the day you stop playing the game by their rules. Today is the day you throw off the strings, step back, and move in silence. You're done chasing. You're done waiting. You're done being their puppet. The power is yours now, and the only thing left to do is watch what happens when they start running after you. Alright, listen up, folks. This right here is where things get real. If you've made it this far, it means you've already started pulling back, giving them the cold shoulder, and stepping away from that exhausting chase. Maybe you've cut off that endless texting. Maybe you've gone quiet, or maybe you're holding back from running after someone new. You thought, this is it. They'll notice I'm gone, and they'll come rushing back, realizing they've lost someone special. Sounds good, right? But let's get one thing straight, that's not how this works. See, the mistake most people make is thinking that all they need to do is stop chasing, then sit back and wait for the grand moment when the other person wakes up, like, wow, what was I thinking? I can't lose them. But let me tell you something, that's just another trap. If you're still sitting there waiting for them to notice, hoping for them to come running back, you're still giving them all the power. Sure, you've stopped chasing, but you haven't stopped waiting. And waiting? That's just another form of submission. You've swapped running after them with sitting still, but the strings are still there, and they're still holding them. Here's the harsh truth. If your plan is to just stop chasing and hope they come back, nothing's going to change. They'll still feel your energy pulling toward them. Even in your silence, they'll know you're sitting there, hoping for their attention, and the second they toss you a little breadcrumb, you'll be tempted to jump right back, proving you were never really in control. That's why you've got to go deeper than just pulling away. You've got to show, not them, but yourself, that you're done being anyone's emotional puppet. It's not enough to stop running after them, you have to move forward. This is where the real shift happens, not when you wait for them to notice your absence, but when you stop needing them to notice at all. You're not just stepping back, you're building momentum in the other direction. The goal isn't to punish them with your silence, it's to show them that your world doesn't revolve around them, that their attention no longer dictates your self-worth. Remember this, you are the author of your story. Say it out loud, feel it in your bones, I write my own story. This isn't about waiting in the shadows, hoping someone finally reads the script you've been writing for them. This is about tearing up that old script and writing a brand new one where you are the main character, not someone else's sidekick. The power move isn't in making them miss you, it's in making sure you no longer care whether they do. And trust me, when you're out there living your life with purpose, thriving without them, that's when they'll start to feel the sting. But by then, it won't even matter to you. The real victory isn't in their regret, it's in your freedom. This is where things change. No more waiting rooms. No more checking your phone, hoping for their message. No more living on someone else's schedule. You step back, stay silent, and build a life so full that whether or not they return is irrelevant. And if they do come running back, it won't be because you were waiting, it'll be because you've created something they can't ignore. That's what we'll discuss in the next part of this video. Stay with me, and if you appreciate what we're doing here, helping you regain your power, hit that like button under this video. Help this message reach more people like you who need this shift in their life. Done liking the video? Thank you. Now it's time to take action. Let's dive into the first step. Number 1, stop acting thirsty. So, folks, when you decide to stop chasing them, you have to make sure that you stop acting thirsty completely. No halfway measures, no subtle attempts to sneak back in. Desperation is like a bad smell, people can sense it from a mile away. And the more you act like you need their attention, the less likely they are to give it. Why? Because thirst signals weakness, and nothing repels faster than someone who's willing to beg, cling, or throw themselves at someone else's feet. You've got to cut that out immediately. Think about it. When someone knows you're desperate for their validation, they stop respecting you. Why would they value what's already chasing after them? Thirstiness turns you into a puppet, controlled by the hope of being noticed, liked, or loved. And as long as you're dancing for their approval, you're putting them on a pedestal they haven't earned. They become the prize, and you become the backup plan, the emotional doormat, the one they keep around just in case. But not anymore. That's over today. The first step in killing your thirst is this: stop checking your phone like it's a slot machine waiting for their message to pop up. Don't sit there staring at last seen statuses or wondering if they've read your texts. That's puppet behavior, and you're done being anyone's puppet. If they haven't messaged you, they're not thinking about you right now, and that's okay. The problem isn't that they're not texting, it's that you've let their response control your happiness. Next, cut out the over-the-top gestures. No more liking all their posts, dropping unnecessary comments, or sliding into their DMs with weak attempts at starting a conversation. You know what I'm talking about, the late night, "Hey, you up?" texts, the "I just wanted to check in" messages, or those fake casual replies that scream, "Please notice me." All of that has to go. When you act thirsty, it shows them that their attention is more valuable than your dignity, and that's a dangerous game to play. Let me tell you something, confidence is silent, thirst is loud. When you're truly secure in yourself, you don't need to constantly announce your presence. You move quietly, without seeking approval, and people notice that. In fact, they respect it. Why? Because nothing is more attractive than someone who knows their worth and doesn't chase after validation. So, if you want to turn the tables, it's time to move in silence. Stop broadcasting your need for attention and let them wonder what's going on with you. Here's the thing, people don't value what's easily available. The more you throw yourself at them, the more they'll pull away. But when you step back, stop calling, and stop texting, it creates a vacuum. And in that empty space, they start to notice your absence. They'll think, wait, why aren't they chasing me anymore? Did I lose them? That little shift in energy. That's when the power starts coming back to you. Now, this doesn't mean you play hard to get just to manipulate them. This is about setting boundaries and reclaiming your self-respect. You're not giving them the cold shoulder to make them miss you. You're doing it because you're done wasting time on someone who doesn't see your worth. And once you make that shift internally, it shows. They'll feel it, even if you don't say a word. Another thing, stop fishing for compliments. Don't post stories or pictures just to see if they'll like them. If your motivation for posting is to get their attention, you've already lost. You should be living your life for you, not waiting for someone else's thumbs up. The minute you stop acting thirsty, you'll feel a weight lift off your shoulders. You'll realize that you never needed their approval in the first place. Here's the truth, when you pull back and stop trying so hard, something incredible happens. People start wondering. They start questioning why you're not chasing them anymore, and that curiosity pulls them in. But here's the best part, by the time they notice, you won't even care. Why? Because you'll have already taken your power back, and once you have it, there's no going back to your old ways. Say it with me, I don't chase, I attract. Let that be your mantra every time you feel the urge to reach out, double text, or seek validation. When you stop acting thirsty, you shift the energy completely. Now they're the ones wondering what changed, what they lost, and whether they can get you back. But the truth is, they won't know because you're not playing that game anymore. This shift isn't just about them, it's about you. It's about choosing yourself every single time. When you stop giving away your energy to people who don't deserve it, you create space for things that actually matter, your growth, your happiness, your peace. And guess what? That glow-up will attract the right people without you lifting a finger. The ones who see your worth won't need to be chased, they'll show up, and they'll stay. So the next time you feel thirsty, take a step back. Don't send that text. Don't stalk their socials. And don't wait by the phone. Instead, remind yourself, I am enough just as I am. Live like you believe it, because the truth is, the only approval you ever needed was your own. Number 2, keep them in the dark. Keeping them in the dark is one of the most powerful moves you can make. Folks, when you cut off their easy access to your thoughts, feelings, and every little detail of your life, you shift the entire dynamic. People are wired to crave what they can't understand, and nothing drives curiosity like mystery. If you want to flip the script and make them start thinking about you non-stop, it's time to move in silence. They don't get to know what's on your mind anymore. You're shutting the door to your inner world, and trust me, that locked door will keep them hooked. Here's the thing, when someone always knows where you stand, what you're doing, and how you feel, they get comfortable. They stop wondering about you because there's nothing left to figure out. You've been an open book, handing over every chapter without them even asking, and the more predictable you are, the less interested they become. But the second you pull back and stop broadcasting every thought, that's when the curiosity creeps in. Why aren't they posting like usual? Why didn't they text me back? What's going on? And just like that, you're in their head, rent-free. Now, keeping them in the dark doesn't mean ghosting or cutting them off completely. It's about creating just enough distance to leave them guessing. You don't need to block them on social media or delete your accounts. In fact, leaving a trail of subtle breadcrumbs can be even more effective. Post just enough to let them know you're out there living your life, but never enough for them to piece it all together. Maybe you share a scenic view, a photo with friends, or a vague caption like, "Big changes ahead." No explanations, no tags, no unnecessary context, just hints that something's different. The key to this move is unpredictability. If you've always been the one to respond immediately, take your time. Now, if you usually post every day, go silent for a while. When they think they know your next step, switch it up. Unpredictability keeps them on edge, constantly wondering what you're up to. That mental friction, the need to solve the mystery of what's going on with you, is what keeps them invested. And the beauty of it? You're not playing games. You're simply choosing not to give them full access to your life anymore. This applies to conversations too. You don't need to explain yourself or give detailed answers to every question they throw your way. If they ask what you've been up to, keep it light. Just staying busy is all they need to know. If they ask how you feel, keep it neutral. You're not obligated to share your emotions with someone who took you for granted. They've lost the privilege of knowing the real you, and that realization, it'll sting. Here's what you have to understand. When they don't know what's going on, their mind will fill in the blanks, and most of the time, they'll assume the worst. What if they've moved on? Are they seeing someone new? Did I push them away for good? That uncertainty creates tension, and tension makes people obsessed. They'll scroll through your social media, reread old messages, and overanalyze every little interaction just trying to figure you out. But the truth? They won't get the answers they're looking for. This is about reclaiming your privacy and your peace. When you keep them in the dark, you're no longer living for their validation. You stop feeling the need to explain yourself, to prove your worth or to show them what they're missing. You're living your life for you, and that's the most powerful message you can send. Say it with me, I move in silence. Make that your new mantra. Every time you feel tempted to overshare, to post something just to get their attention, remind yourself, I move in silence. You're not here to entertain anyone or satisfy their curiosity. You're here to protect your energy and build a life that doesn't revolve around anyone else's opinion. Keeping them in the dark isn't just a tactic, it's a lifestyle shift. It's about recognizing that not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, your emotions, or your time. It's about being selective with who gets to know the real you. And once they realize that they no longer have the inside track to your world, they'll start craving it more than ever. But this time, it's on your terms. So next time you feel that urge to explain yourself, to post something for their attention, or to reach out just to see if they care, pause. Take a breath and remind yourself, I move in silence. Let them wonder. Let them sit in the dark, not knowing where they stand. Because the truth is, the less they know, the more they'll want to find out. And by the time they do, you'll be so far ahead that whether or not they catch up won't even matter. Number 3, own your time like a boss. Owning your time like a boss means taking back control of your life. No more sitting around waiting for someone to text, call, or notice you. No more rearranging your schedule to fit into someone else's life. It's time to reclaim your hours, your days, and your energy and direct them toward things that matter. Because here's the cold truth, if you don't value your time, nobody else will. Think about it, how many times have you wasted entire days obsessing over when someone will reply, or dropped everything the moment they asked to hang out? That's not just giving away your time, it's giving away your self-worth. Every time you make yourself too available, you send the message that your time isn't valuable. And let's be real, people will treat your time exactly how you show them it should be treated. If you're always ready to jump at their call, they'll assume you have nothing better going on, and they'll act accordingly. But that stops now. From here on out, you control the clock. No more canceling plans or waiting by your phone for someone who barely values your attention. When you start treating your time like the valuable asset it is, others will follow suit. The power shift is real, and it starts with you deciding that your time is non-negotiable. Step 1 to owning your time: stop responding immediately to every message. Just because someone texts you doesn't mean they're entitled to an instant reply. You're not obligated to be available on demand. Take your time. Finish what you're doing. Focus on yourself and respond when it fits into your schedule. That gap in response sends a powerful message: you are not my top priority. And believe me, people will notice. They'll start valuing your responses more when they realize they aren't guaranteed. Next, fill your time with things that actually matter to you. Start pouring your energy into activities that build you up, whether it's working out, focusing on your career, pursuing hobbies, or spending time with people who genuinely care about you. When your schedule is packed with things that align with your goals, you won't even have the mental space to worry about who's texting or who isn't. And the irony? The moment you stop being available all the time is the moment people start chasing your attention. Here's another thing: learn to say no without feeling guilty. Your time is limited, and you don't owe it to anyone who doesn't respect it. If someone wants to hang out last minute and you've already made plans, even if it's just a night to yourself, say no. Don't bend over backward to accommodate people who wouldn't do the same for you. That's not selfish, that's called boundaries. Owning your time isn't just about scheduling, it's about mindset. You need to shift from being reactive to proactive. Stop waiting for things to happen and start making them happen. Instead of waiting for someone to invite you out, plan your own adventures. Instead of waiting for opportunities to fall into your lap, create them. When you take control of your time, you stop living in someone else's story and start writing your own. And here's the beautiful thing: once you start living this way, everything changes. You'll notice how much lighter you feel when your happiness isn't tied to someone else's schedule. You'll see how much more productive and fulfilled you are when your energy is invested in things that matter. And others will notice it too. They'll wonder what's changed, why you're suddenly harder to reach. And that curiosity will pull them in. But by the time they notice, you'll be so focused on your own life that whether they show up or not won't even matter. Say it with me: my time belongs to me. Let that be your new mantra. Every time you feel tempted to drop everything for someone who barely respects your time, remind yourself: my time belongs to me. You're not here to be anyone's backup plan, and you're definitely not here to waste your energy on people who don't see your worth. So take control. Move with purpose. Make every hour, every day, every decision count. Because when you own your time like a boss, you stop chasing after people, and they start chasing after you. And folks, we're almost halfway through this video, and if you're still with me, it means this message is resonating with you. So, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps push this message to others who need it too. And I encourage you to stick with me until the end, because today is the day we make some real changes. Stay locked in. Accept this challenge to see it through, and let's finish what we started. Your breakthrough is just around the corner. Number 4, demand more, settle for nothing less. It's time to demand more, folks, and settle for absolutely nothing less. You've spent too long accepting the bare minimum, hoping that one day things might magically get better. But here's the truth: people treat you the way you let them. If you keep accepting breadcrumbs, they'll keep giving them. If you want to shift the dynamic, if you want to live a life where you're respected, valued, and prioritized, you've got to raise your standards and never back down. The problem with settling is that it puts you in a constant state of compromise. You convince yourself that maybe this is as good as it gets, that asking for more makes you demanding or, worse, ungrateful. But the truth is, settling isn't just about what you allow from others, it's about what you believe you deserve. If you keep accepting less than you're worth, you teach yourself that less is all you'll ever get. That stops today. From now on, you set the bar higher, and you don't lower it just because someone doesn't meet it. Whether it's relationships, friendships, or opportunities, you deserve the best. And it's not your job to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's limited expectations. If they can't meet your standards, that's on them, not you. Your job is to protect your peace and keep your worth intact. No discounts, no compromises. Here's the thing: people respect those who know what they want and refuse to settle for less. When you raise your standards, you communicate that your time, energy, and presence are valuable. And the right people will rise to meet you. But the wrong ones? They'll try to call you difficult, say you're too much, or make you feel guilty for having boundaries. Don't fall for that. That's their way of saying they're not willing to step up, and that's your cue to walk away. Demanding more isn't about arrogance, it's about self-respect. It's about understanding that you are worthy of relationships and opportunities that add to your life, not drain it. If someone doesn't see your value, that's their loss, not yours. Your worth doesn't decrease just because someone else can't. Like saying, "Is this okay? Do you understand why I'm doing this?" And when you ask for permission, you put yourself in a weaker position, one where the other person holds the power to validate your choices. But here's the truth, you don't need anyone's approval. Your actions, your choices, your boundaries, they belong to you. No one else gets to decide if they're right or wrong. Silence is a statement in itself. When you stay silent, you communicate something powerful: I don't need to justify myself to anyone. It shows that you're confident in your decisions and unbothered by how others interpret them. Silence leaves room for people to wonder, to think twice about how they treat you. When they don't get the explanation they were expecting, it disrupts their sense of control. And that disruption, that's where the power shifts. Imagine this, someone asks why you didn't respond to their text right away, and instead of scrambling to explain, you just say, "I was busy." No details, no justifications, just a simple, unbothered statement. Or maybe you decide to say no to an invitation without offering an excuse: "I won't make it." That's it. That silence sends a message loud and clear: your decisions are your own, and you're not here to seek approval. Staying silent isn't about being rude or dismissive. It's about setting boundaries and protecting your energy. Every time you explain yourself, you give away a piece of that energy to someone else. You invite them into your thought process, giving them access to question and criticize your choices. But when you stay silent, you keep that energy for yourself. Say it with me: I move in silence, no explanations needed. This is your new mantra. Every time you feel the urge to explain yourself, remind yourself of this: you are not responsible for managing how others feel about your choices. If they can't respect your decisions without an explanation, that's their problem, not yours. The truth is, people who respect you won't need an explanation. They'll understand that your time, your energy, and your boundaries are yours to manage. And the ones who demand explanations, they're the ones trying to control you. Staying silent is how you reclaim that control. It's how you show the world, and yourself, that your choices stand on their own. So next time someone tries to make you explain yourself, resist the urge. Let your silence speak for you, because in a world full of noise, silence is the loudest statement you can make. Number 6, glow up and let them wonder. It's time to glow up, folks, and let them sit in the dark, wondering what hit them. This isn't just about looking good on the outside. This is a full transformation from the inside out. A glow up means stepping into your best self, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and doing it for you, not for them. The goal here isn't to make them jealous or to win them back. No, the real flex is becoming someone so radiant, so content and so unstoppable that whether they notice or not doesn't even matter. But here's the kicker: they will notice. And when they do, they won't know what to make of the new you. A true glow-up starts with mindset. It's not about revenge or making someone else regret their choices. It's about reclaiming your life and becoming the person you've always known you could be. That means breaking free from the version of yourself that was constantly waiting for someone to validate your worth. You were never built to live in someone else's shadow. It's time to rise, not for them, but for you. The first step: level up your habits. Start taking care of yourself like you mean it. Hit the gym, eat better, get your sleep right, and show your body the respect it deserves. But don't do it for the likes or the attention. Do it because you deserve to feel strong, healthy, and unstoppable. When you feel good in your own skin, that confidence radiates from within, and people will see it whether you post about it or not. Now, let's talk about personal growth. Pick up that skill you've always wanted to learn. Dive into your career with laser focus. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, not drag you down. Every time you invest in yourself, whether it's learning, working, or simply enjoying life, you're sending a message: I am more than enough, and I am my own priority. You're no longer waiting for someone to see your worth because you already know it. And here's the fun part: while you're busy glowing up, they'll notice the shift, and it'll mess with their head. They'll wonder, why do they seem so happy? Who are they spending time with? Are they seeing someone new? But you're not about to give them any answers, no oversharing, no explanations, just pure, undeniable growth. That curiosity will eat away at them, but by the time they figure it out, you'll be miles ahead. Say it with me: I glow up for me. This is your new mantra. Every time you feel tempted to post for their attention or seek validation, remind yourself: I glow up for me. Because the best kind of glow up isn't the one they see coming, it's the one they never expected. And when they finally notice, it won't even matter. You'll be shining so bright they won't know what hit them. So get to work, build the life you deserve, pour into yourself like never before, glow up, move in silence, and let them wonder. Because the real power isn't in being noticed. The real power is knowing that you never needed their attention in the first place. Number 7, say no and mean it. Learning to say no and meaning it is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. For too long, you've been saying yes when you really wanted to say no: yes to plans you didn't want, yes to people who took you for granted, yes to requests that drained your time and energy. And every time you said yes when you should have said no, you told people it was okay to put themselves before you. But no more. It's time to say no, stand by it, and watch how everything changes. Saying no is about setting boundaries and protecting your peace. It's not selfish, it's survival. If you keep giving parts of yourself to everyone else, there will be nothing left for you. People will take as much as you allow, and they won't stop until you draw the line. And here's the thing: when you start saying no, some people won't like it. They'll try to guilt you, convince you that you're being difficult, or make you feel selfish. But guess what? Their reaction isn't your problem, it's a reflection of their expectations, not your worth. When you say no and mean it, you take back control of your time and energy. You stop bending to other people's plans and start living life on your own terms. And here's where the power lies: every no you say to something that doesn't serve you is a yes to yourself. It's a declaration that your time, energy, and well-being come first. But saying no isn't just about the words, it's about the follow-through. No explanations, no apologies, just a simple, firm no. If you start explaining yourself, you open the door for negotiation. They'll poke at your reasons, try to change your mind, and soon enough, you're back to doing something you never wanted to do in the first place. So say it and leave it there: no, I can't make it. No, that doesn't work for me. That's it. No justifications needed. Say it with me: I say no, and I mean it. This is your new standard. It's time to start protecting your peace, respecting your time, and choosing yourself. Because when you say no and mean it, you're not just setting boundaries, you're taking back your power. And the ones who respect that, those are the only people worth keeping around. Number 8, stay solid, emotionally untouchable. Staying solid and emotionally untouchable is the ultimate power move, folks. When you stop letting others mess with your emotions, whether through their actions, words, or silence, you take back full control of your peace. Emotional independence means that no one else gets to dictate how you feel. They don't get to push your buttons, play with your head, or drag you into their chaos. And once you become emotionally untouchable, people can feel it, and it drives them crazy. Why? Because nothing is more frustrating than someone who refuses to react. Here's the truth: people who know they can control your emotions will keep testing you. They'll push you, ghost you, breadcrumb you, just to see if they can trigger a reaction. They thrive on knowing they have that kind of power over you. But the moment you stop reacting, the game is over. They lose the upper hand. When they can no longer manipulate your mood with their words or their absence, they start to realize they never had control over you too. Begin with being emotionally untouchable isn't about being cold or shutting down your feelings. It's about choosing when and how to respond. It's the ability to stay calm when someone tries to provoke you, to walk away when someone plays games, and to remain unbothered by things that once threw you off balance. Staying solid means that no one has the power to disrupt your inner peace, no matter what they do. This isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about mastering them. When you feel the urge to lash out, chase, or explain yourself, pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself, I am in control. Every time you choose silence over drama, calm over chaos, and composure over impulse, you're reinforcing your emotional independence. Say it with me, I stay solid, emotionally untouchable. This is your new mantra. It's not just words, it's a mindset. It's knowing that your happiness, peace, and well-being are not up for grabs. They belong to you, and no one can take them away unless you let them. The best part? When you become emotionally untouchable, you attract people and situations that align with your peace. You stop engaging with anything or anyone that disturbs your balance. The ones who once toyed with your emotions, they'll either step up or step out. Either way, you win. Number 9, be the magnet, not the seeker. It's time to be the magnet, not the seeker. Chasing, begging, or constantly trying to prove yourself, that's not your game anymore. When you're always in pursuit, you come across as needy, desperate, and, let's be honest, easy to overlook. But when you shift your energy and become the one who attracts instead of the one who seeks, everything changes. People naturally gravitate toward confidence, independence, and self-assuredness, and that's exactly what you need to embody. A magnet doesn't chase, it just pulls. It stands strong, knowing it has the power to draw things toward it without lifting a finger. That's your new role. You don't need to run after attention, approval, or affection. Instead, you focus on being your best self, and those who align with your energy will find their way to you. The right people will be drawn in, not because you begged for their time, but because you radiate a sense of self-worth that's impossible to ignore. Here's the thing, being the magnet means you've mastered the art of letting go. You no longer run after things that aren't meant for you. If someone isn't interested, that's fine, you let them go. If an opportunity slips through your fingers, you trust that something better is on its way. This kind of detachment isn't about being cold. It's about understanding that what's meant for you will find you. Your energy is too valuable to waste on chasing things that were never meant to stay. Becoming a magnet also requires you to cultivate your own happiness. When you stop seeking external validation and create joy from within, people can feel that energy, and it's magnetic. You're no longer looking for someone to complete you because you're already whole. And that's self-assurance. It's transformative. Draws people toward you effortlessly. Say it with me, I attract, I don't chase. This is your mantra now. Every time you feel the urge to seek, to chase, or to force something to happen, remind yourself, I attract, I don't chase. When you embody this mindset, you stop chasing what isn't meant for you, and you start attracting exactly what you deserve. Remember, being the magnet is all about standing in your power. You let things flow naturally, knowing that what's for you will come and what isn't will fall away. You don't seek, you attract. And that's the ultimate power move. If this video hit home for you, don't just sit on it. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Drop a comment below with the phrase, I attract, I don't chase. Let the world know you're stepping into your power, leaving behind the chase, and becoming someone worth pursuing. Remember, every step we've discussed today, cutting off the chase, guarding your energy, demanding more, and staying emotionally untouchable, brings you closer to the life you deserve. This journey isn't about revenge or manipulation. It's about reclaiming control, setting your standards high, and becoming the person who naturally draws what they deserve. No more running. No more begging for validation. You are the magnet. You are the prize. And the only approval you'll ever need is your own. Now, step into your power, live boldly, and let them wonder what it's